I listened to some professor of what's-its, okay? I was the best physics student my school had ever had. The head of department, Mr. A.J. Powney at Mill Hill School, had set the same test to, he'd been a head of physics at 3 public schools, and I got the best marks ever. So I was good at physics. And what's the point? All the fancy sciences. Einstein, for instance, brilliant fellow that he was, E equals mc squared, didn't get the point to love God through Christ. So that's the music. I'm actually very fond of Quaker worship, the Society of Friends, founded by George Fox, and he had a wonderful wife too. I'm afraid I really ought to know her name, but I'm afraid I don't. But he had a wonderful wife. His dates are 1624, I think, to 1691. And they were persecuted, you know. There was a lot of sort of religious persecution in England in that era. The prayer book, 1662, so there was loads of sort of religious stuff going on, breaking away from the Roman Catholics. Henry VIII, his big date is, 1539, the dissolution of the monasteries and all this and that. I've spoken elsewhere about that. It was in the I can't sing. Oh, yes, I don't need an instrument. I've got it sort of in there somewhere. I'm listening to the news on BBC Radio 4 this morning. This sort of university schools thing, right? With COVID-19. Now, it's going to get complicated. Universities, you know, they've got their funding, and obviously the Chinese students aren't to come over, are they? So if they haven't got their funding, then they're stuffed, basically. Jesus College, Cambridge turned me down. I ended up at Bristol University for medicine. So there are a lot of bright things at Cambridge and Oxford. Yeah, so what? I'm awfully sorry. You can be as bright as you like. I mean, the Prime Minister went to Eton, so what? I went to a minor public school, Mill Hill as it happens, but, you know, I couldn't care less. I'm afraid that is my background. I'm an older man approaching the age of 64. Believe me, on my birthday this year, I'm going to play the Beatles when I'm 64. These politicians are absolutely sort of rattling about in a box to try and sort this COVID thing out. I'm awfully sorry, I've got to say this now. The Prime Minister was shagging some bird in number 10 to whom he was not married on that old-fashioned. He's had a sprog out of a woman who's not his wife, Mr. Boris Johnson, the old Etonian. I mean, well, I couldn't trust a man like that. No way. He's shagging some bird in number 10. Right. I would like to think of a woman as a woman. And Boris Johnson is shagging some bird in number 10 to produce a new sprog. And the sprog was born out of wedlock. Oh, please. And the guy's got several other children elsewhere or whatever, with his former wife of 25 years, etc., etc., etc. I think he's a totally awful man. The Prime Minister of England. I think he should be named and shamed, quite frankly, as an awful sort of philanderer, quite frankly. Now, come on, happy thoughts. Now, the nice thing is, I do these songs, and then, what's the next one? Ah, here we go. See if I can walk. There's nothing but this, to love God through Christ, first and foremost, okay? Everything else is rubbish. Everything else doesn't exist. There is nothing but this, to love God through Christ. There's nothing else. Nothing else exists. Nothing exists. I think it lights up. There's nothing else. Love God through Christ. That's it. We're just little old humans. Amen. There's nothing else. Love God through Christ.